Visitation and parenting plans. Visitation is the formal word for the time spent with kids by the parent who has the least amount of time with them. If one parent has sole custody or primary custody, the other parent has visitation. A parenting plan is the arrangement between the parents as to when the kids will be with which parent and who will be responsible for which tasks, transportation, and all those details that go into figuring out how to make the plan work. Your plan will be like a business contract. Some people can do this better if they think that they are now in a limited partnership with their child's other parent, and this limited partnership business arrangement will last until the youngest child turns 18. The contract is to help each other do the best you possibly can do to raise your child to the best of your combined abilities. If you haven't thought much about all the details that go into making visitation work well for the kids, you can go to our forms section and get the family law forms listed below. They will give you lots of ideas of things to think about for your parenting plan. The idea is that you only use those portions that fit your family and you don't use the others. The forms to look at are Family Law 341, and then there are subforms 341A, 341B, 341C, D, E, and F. These are all documents that can be attached to a court order or a judgment to clearly write out what your arrangement is. Before you start filing court papers or go to mediation, it might be a good idea to read these forms because they will give you ideas of some of the issues that you might want to consider. Not all of them will apply to you, so you should only use those portions that fit your family. If you are one of the lucky ones and you and your former beloved are able to work out your own plan, you should write it down if you can. If you're really lucky and both of you talk with each other a lot, maybe you can get away with not writing it down and you can call it reasonable visitation. Reasonable visitation is whatever the two of you agree it is. The problem with this one is that you might not actually agree, or your thinking of your agreement changes and becomes different from the other parent's thinking. So it is a better idea to write it down while both of you are sure of what will work, so that you have something to refer to when the glitch develops. Another thing to consider when thinking about parenting plans is everyone's personality. Some people need to nail down each and every detail. Some people are very loose and flexible. Some children need to know exactly where they will be and who they will be with well in advance. And some children are okay with whatever their parents think is okay. Some children can sleep anywhere and eat anything. Some children cannot. As your child grows older, these issues may change, and what works at 3 probably won't work at age 7, and may need to change again when your child becomes a teenager. What are your children like? What are you and your former beloved like? More nitty-gritty are the details. Where do your kids go to school? Do they have daycare? Where do you work? Where does the other parent work? Are there transportation issues getting them to and from school, to and from daycare, after-school activities? Who drives them, when, and where? What kind of after-school activities will your children be involved in? Sports, scouts, music, gymnastics, dance, art, horses, hobbies? Which parent will be involved in these activities? Both, or only one of you? Will there be cooperation? If not, then you might need a specific schedule which assures that the child is with the parent who is involved in the activity on the days that those activities happen. If you and the other parent live a long distance apart, what are the transportation needs? Who arranges it, and who pays? If the distance requires an airplane ride, that will affect how often the visits occur. Probably less often, but the visits will probably be longer. Other kinds of frequent and continuing contact can include telephone visits, emails, text messaging, computer video conferencing, as well as the old-fashioned cards and letters. Kids love to get mail. If you and your child's other parent are unable to agree on a parenting plan, you may need to go to court. Please watch the segment on custody which tells you the process. If at all possible, please talk to your child's other parent in a businesslike manner to see if you can come to some agreement that would work for your kid. If you are one of the lucky ones who is successful at this, then write it down and get your signatures notarized. Then get Form FL 355, Stipulation and Order for Custody and/or Visitation of Children, to attach to the front of your agreement so you can submit it to the court for the judge's signature. Remember, get over it, get on with it, quit fighting, and share.